Warning: the following video contains explicit language, which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Are you ready? Hey everybody, it's Jeff. Nice day here in Maine. Cold but nice. Got some stuff done today there that needed to be done. So, it didn't take very long. I'll tell you right now, it didn't take very long for Trump to begin his slash and burn, his scorched earth vendetta here. He's starting in here, excuse me. One of the things he did here already is he canceled sanctions on the Israel settlers in the West Bank. He told his chief of staff, Susie Wiles, on the fly to, quote unquote, immediately find out for him what the drone scare was so he can tell the people. Yeah, like he really gives a shit about that. All right, and let me tell you something. Because we know he's a fucking liar, do you really think that he's going to come back with an answer we can believe? All right, honestly, why would we trust? If he says the sky is blue, why should we believe him? All right, honestly, he's lied to us for so long, for so many things that, I doubt. I mean, if even Joe Biden wouldn't come out and say what the hell the drone scare was, then obviously it's something that even he didn't know, and they're not even going to tell Trump. Why would they tell him if it's something top secret? They're not going to tell. He's the last person they're going to want to tell, what the hell that was. So, so you're not going to get anything out of him over that. Then he's already gotten rid of 4 officials that were appointed by Joe Biden on his first day as president. The revenge tour has already started in here, you know what I'm saying? And, hold on a second here. So then he ordered the United States to exit from the World Health Organization. So here he's already going after attacking health, which is, why, RFK Jr. was probably the one he wanted in taking care of the country's health because he's going to shit all over it. And he wants, Trump is going to stop leasing federal land for wind farms because, hey, those windmills, they're just killing the birds and, they're causing cancer. So he's going to put a stop to that. I wonder, does any of this help bring down the cost of eggs? You think? All this stuff, I mean, these are the things that's going to make people wonder as they go grocery shopping and prices are still high. I mean, who are they going to blame it on now? Since Biden ain't the president, okay? Who are they going to blame it on now? They're gonna have to bite their tongue, I guess, because otherwise they'll have to say it was Trump, right? He ain't helping, but they don't want to say that, right? Because hey, they put their nuts in the ringer for this guy, voted for him, thinking he was going to help them out. This is the find out phase of fuck around and find out, And I figure, hey, we don't have to hear from them, okay? Their silence will be enough for Democrats to know that they are fuming, but they won't be bold enough to go out and bitch and complain that, oh, Trump ain't doing what he said. Hey, Don't cry to us. We warned you. We warned you, all of us, all the Democrats warned you about what this man was about. But you took for granted that it wasn't going to be so bad. Well, you know what? It's just getting started. You know, it's just getting started. This was just day one here of things that he's been doing here. And I want to look at read this here, this article from Salon.com with Trump's abortion ban here. It's a commentary by Amanda Marcotti. Marcotti, yeah, I think that's how you say it. It's entitled "Donald Trump's Plan to Protect Women in Action: 2 Dead, Another Arrested for Miscarriage." His abortion bans keep proving that by protect, MAGA means they will punish and control. Donald Trump's favorite word when talking about abortion ban is beautiful. When asked in June on Fox News about the states passing abortion bans after a Supreme Court nominees overturned Roe v. Wade, Trump declared, quote, "It's a beautiful thing to watch," unquote. He claims to be women's protector and recently told women that they will no longer be thinking about abortion if he gets elected because women's lives will be happy and beautiful. Yeah. We were reminded again of what Trump's quote-unquote protection of women looks like in the aftermath of Dobbs versus Jackson Women's Health in the 2022 Supreme Court decision that ended nearly a half a century of abortion rights, which was only possible because Trump made good on his 2016 promise to appoint justices who opposed Roe v. Wade. ProPublica reported on the deaths of 2 Texas women who were denied miscarriage at a hospital because that standard of care for failing pregnancies is banned under Texas's draconian abortion law. The Washington Post reported about a Nevada woman who was charged with manslaughter after mourning a miscarriage on Facebook. While one of the 2 deceased women in Texas is still unknown, the family of Josely Barnica spoke to ProPublica. The 28-year-old mother was pregnant with her second child when she miscarried at 17 weeks. Unable to remove the dying fetus due to Texas law, doctors stood by helplessly while Barnica got sicker from the infection over days and finally died. That case sounds much like 2 from Georgia, where 28-year-old Amber Thurman and 41-year-old Candy Miller passed away, unable to get post-abortion care because of that state's ban. In Nevada, 26-year-old Patience Frazier was arrested after miscarrying a fetus. She named, quote-unquote, Abel. Authorities claimed she had deliberately aborted her pregnancy, but medical experts say her method, eating a bunch of cinnamon, cannot induce a miscarriage. Despite being the person most responsible for the deaths of Barnica, Miller, and Thurman, Trump continues to call himself a quote-unquote protector of women, telling a crowd in Wisconsin that he will protect women, whether, quote, whether the women like it or not, unquote, to normal people, using the posture and language of a violent threat when claiming to protect women is confusing. But with Trump, it makes a sick sort of sense beyond even his history as a serial sexual assailant. In the MAGA parlance, quote-unquote, protect is a dog whistle for their true intentions for women, which is domination. The word reflects a larger tendency of Trump and his followers to see women not as people, but as property of men, especially powerful white men. As journalist Kelly Well had recently argued in the MAGA worldview, the family is regarded as, quote, a sexualized project of male domination, unquote, from outsiders who would rape them, but only because it's a property crime against their male owner. But a father or husband has free rein to dispose of his female property as he will. Former Fox News host Tucker Carlson articulated this repeatedly by arguing that sexual abuse of minors isn't really serious if the father has married them off to the rapist first. Oh, God. And here's something, they quoted him, Carlson, saying, Quote, I'm just telling you that arranging a marriage between a 16-year-old and a 27-year-old is not the same as pulling a stranger off the street and raping her. That's bullshit, Carlson said. The criminal charges that Carlson called bullshit stem from the case of a 14-year-old girl whom Warren Jeffs had forced into marriage with an adult cousin. The girl testified that her husband frequently raped her and that she survived multiple miscarriages. Jesus. MAGA doesn't care about women and girls who die because of abortion bans. Those who die from illegal abortions are viewed as rejecting patriarchal authority and deserving of that death. But even in the cases of those who miscarry and are denied medical care, there's not much concern. That makes sense if you view women less as people and more as property. A woman who miscarries and needs medical care is, in this worldview, much like a malfunctioning appliance. It's just as well to toss it out and get another that won't need as much maintenance. That probably explains a lot of things about marriages these days. In these 4 cases, the women also fall out of the narrow zone of protection Trump imagines because of their racial identities or class status. Miller and Thurman were black, and Barnica was an immigrant from Honduras. Frazier, as the Washington Post documented, was impoverished and frequently homeless. The deputy who arrested her had known her from around town and compared Frazier to, quote, her own mother, who she said often left her 5 children to fend for themselves in a drug-ridden neighborhood, unquote. But even middle-class white women should know they aren't safe. A number of such women, such as Amanda Zarowski and Kate Cox of Texas, have spoken about their own horrifying experiences being denied care for failing pregnancies, which left Zarowski so badly injured she will likely never give birth. Better off white women are certainly valued more in the MAGA worldview, but they are still objects judged by how well they serve the patriarchal system. By failing to be, quote-unquote, good at pregnancy, they are seen as malfunctioning and undeserving of care. By speaking out, they have turned into rebellious women who are condemned for their boldness. Anti-abortion leaders relentlessly demonize these women, calling them liars or worse. Trump continues to deny he wants a national abortion ban, but the safe bet is that if he wins, which he did in November, there will be a national abortion ban. First of all, Trump lies about everything, so his denials on this front are worth nothing. More important is his unwillingness to commit to vetoing any abortion ban a Republican Congress would pass. But even if Republicans don't control Congress, Project 2025 outlines a plan to ban abortion pills through the back door by revoking their FDA approval, which, remember, he wants to get rid of the FDA, right? Even if Trump wins, he will lose the majority of female voters, probably by a wide margin. He's a spiteful misogynist, and banning abortion nationwide will simply feel like his revenge on women who reject his protection. Oh, so, this is something here that he hasn't said much yet since he won, but you know what's coming, okay? Because let me tell you something. The people that helped him get back into the White House are the same assholes who put together that Project 2025 thing, and you can bet your last dollar on the fact that they are going to make sure that he doesn't forget that, okay? The Heritage Foundation has bankrolled this man to win, and they are desperate to implement their manifesto into reality. And regardless of what Trump wants to do, which, whatever that may be, the only thing he wanted was just to stay out of jail. He got that, okay? They made sure of that so he could do what they want now. And now it's time for Trump to pay up. It's time for him to fess up what they want him to do, and now he's going to do it. It's really not up to him now. He sold his soul to the devil so that way he could stay out of prison, and now, it's time to pay the piper. And I can promise you that You know, all this other stuff that I mentioned here at the start, you know, that he's doing, that's all just smokescreen. Because, you know, MAGA is standing right now in the lobby waiting to get what they wanted from him, you know, because they voted for him. So they want him to deliver for them too. But guess who's going to get first? Who's going to get paid off first here? It ain't going to be the MAGA people. It's going to be the Heritage Foundation. It's going to be those people that gave him millions of dollars to keep running, all right, and win the election. MAGA, you know, the base, they were just the crowd piece, you know, for for his rallies. Okay, it made it look good. That's all he needed out of them. Their vote, not so much, but you know, like I said, now it's time for him to pay up. You know what they gave him. Now it's time for him to give. So, yeah, it's you know, 4 years is going to be a long 4 years. That's all I can say. And he ain't done yet. I mean, remember I was saying yesterday about while I'm sitting here recording this video, he's up to something. Believe me, he's up to something. He ain't done yet. Okay, and believe me, he doesn't give a shit now about getting caught doing anything. All right, he doesn't give a shit. And I had to laugh because there was people here. Let me hold on a second here. This thing here from Reddit here come out. It says the DOJ officially admits Hunter Biden was bribed by a criminal Romanian oligarch to influence U.S. policy through Joe Biden. And this was reported on Fox News. First of all, Fox News is not the bastion of honesty, okay? Second of all, why would anybody in MAGA care? Okay? Hey, they greenlit every crime that Trump ever did. They didn't care. They voted for Trump, and with all the fucking scandal that man had around him, they didn't have a problem with him. Okay? But, oh, geez, Fox News, look what Hunter Biden, you know, oh my God. You know, all this pearl clutching over something that come out about Hunter Biden, which of course they can't act on because Joe Biden pardoned his son, right? So, yeah, oh my God. And it's like, give me a fucking break, you cocksuckers. You know, you fucking people were sitting there clapping and applauding about the fact that that Trump raped a woman. Okay? Clapping and applauding that he got away with it. Clapping and applauding that he stole top secret data from the National Archives and had it stored in his fucking bathroom in Mar-a-Lago. Nope, don't even matter, even though we put people away for life for doing that. Okay, all these things, plus inciting a riot on our own government, that's all okay. Okay, that's all okay. I don't even want to hear about law and order from MAGA, okay? I don't care what they come out with at this point now, especially from Fox News about Hunter Biden, okay? You know, their credibility is shot beyond belief as far as Fox News is concerned. And basically, most of the media, anyway, their credibility is shot beyond belief because half of them were all behind Trump winning. And so anything that comes out about Hunter Biden, I'm going to take with a grain of salt because, hey, this is all about, you know, sore winners. You know, they won this thing and now it's all about revenge seeking. It's all this is about. And Fox News is right behind on the bandwagon there with Trump doing the same damn thing. That's why this story come out now, okay? That's why this come out. So why should we believe anything about that? They could have reported this way before that, but no, they didn't. So that's what I'm saying. Is that true, that fucking story? Probably not, okay? And if it is, it don't matter anyway because he's been pardoned. Can't touch him. And that's what pisses off MAGA is they can't really do anything to this guy. And the thing of it is oh, I thought they were the party of law and order. Well, if that was the case, Trump shouldn't even be president. But no, it's okay. It's all right for them to break the fucking rules. And when they accuse the other side of doing something, they're actually pointing to themselves because they project. Anything that they're accusing the Democrats of doing, they are already doing and have done already. Okay? So believe me when I say, when they're sitting here pointing the finger at the Democrats for something that they say is corrupt, they got 3 more pointing right back at them for doing the same damn thing. So they've got no room to be bitching about Hunter Biden. Okay, it's best if they would just keep their mouth shut about any more supposed scandals, because they've got no they've got no right to even talk and even scream and holler about that. Okay, they're the last person you ought to hear from about what's right and wrong. They don't know anything about that. So anyway, let's go to a commercial break. We'll be right back.
I'm Alex Curtis. I'm a lobsterman in Maine, and this is me.
I'm Roxy Sugar, and this is me.
I'm Eric Hopkins. I'm an artist, and this is me.
This
is me.
me.
This is me.
This is me.
At the end of the journey, the main thing is you, original.
And, you know, tonight I'm going to be signing on the J6 hostages, pardons, to get them out. And as soon as I leave, I'm going to the Oval Office and we'll be signing pardons for a lot of people. Thank you.
Breaking the law, 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 breaking the law.
Be a part of the entertainment value of a lifetime.
I loved it.
It was the best performance I've seen in a lifetime.
I loved the show. I liked it very much. He's a very entertaining man. It's well worth the money.
Now appearing in Charlottetown, coming to Halifax November 6th to the 18th, and St. John November 20th through the 26th.
Welcome back. There's this other article here that I want to read. It's from The Guardian, written by Alexandra Villarreal. entitled, What is U.S. Birthright Citizenship and What Does Trump's Executive Order Do? As part of a sweeping crackdown on both undocumented and legal immigrants, Donald Trump signed an executive order yesterday trying to end the right to citizenship for some children born in the United States. In a country where birthright citizenship, regardless of lineage, is a deeply held value, the president's attempt to cut off that right for future generations could create a permanent underclass through policy change that would specifically target communities of color, no less, right? His executive order faces court challenges from civil rights organizations which have favorable constitutional language and over a century of legal precedent on their side. The American Civil Liberties Union, late on Monday, led a group of organizations in filing a lawsuit challenging Trump's order. Here's more on the right to birthright citizenship and its future under the Trump administration. What is birthright citizenship? When Trump and his allies reference birthright citizenship, they're usually alluding to the legal principle of jus soli, which means right of the soil. In Latin, put simply, it allows nearly everyone born on U.S. soil to become a U.S. citizen. What's the legal basis for this birthright citizenship? As a concept, right of the soil comes from English common law, which held centuries ago that people born in England were natural subjects. But unrestricted birthright citizenship in the U.S. that includes people of color, not just white Americans, derives from the U.S. Constitution. In 1857, the Supreme Court ruled that black descendants of enslaved people could not be U.S. citizens. To right this injustice over a decade later, the U.S. ratified the 14th Amendment. The first line of the 14th Amendment reads, quote, all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside, unquote, known as the Citizenship Clause. This phrase, alongside a number of related statutes and regulations, establishes the modern basis for birthright citizenship. What have the U.S. courts said about birthright citizenships for the children of immigrants? Even as the 14th Amendment was ratified, Americans were starting to turn against immigrants in the United States, especially Chinese workers. Soon Congress had enacted legislation to heavily restrict further Chinese migration and make life difficult for those already stateside. Wong Kim Ark, a young man born in San Francisco to immigrant parents, went to China to see his family. When he tried to return home to the United States, he was not allowed into the country based on allegations that he wasn't a U.S. citizen. But the Supreme Court saw the situation differently. In an 1898 presidential decision that has withstood the test of time, the justices ruled in favor of Wong Kim Ark's U.S. citizenship claim, even though his parents were Chinese immigrants unable to naturalize. There are exceedingly rare exceptions to the principle of jus soli, where people born in the U.S. are not automatically granted U.S. citizenship. Until the enactment of the law in 1924, indigenous peoples born in the U.S. were excluded. In 2021, the Supreme Court decided that people born in American Samoa's unincorporated territories are not automatically guaranteed birthright citizenship unless Congress enacts legislation. And the children of foreign diplomats, or in a more violent scenario, the kids of enemy occupiers, also lack a right to U.S. citizenship by birth. In comments criticizing the U.S.'s version of birthright citizenship, Trump has said, quote, we have to end it. We're the only country that has it, unquote. In fact, dozens of countries have a right to citizenship based on place of birth. Like the U.S., most of these countries are within the Western Hemisphere, including Canada and Mexico. That said, birthright citizenship is less common in other regions of the world. What does Trump's executive order do? The executive order signed on Monday tries to make it so that children born in the U.S. but without at least one parent who is a lawful permanent resident of the U.S. Are no longer automatically extended U.S. citizenship. It also disallows federal agencies from issuing or recognizing documentation proving U.S. citizenship for such children. Notably, the executive order targets kids born to both unauthorized immigrants and people legally in the U.S. on temporary visas. Could Trump actually end birthright citizenship? Maybe, although probably not, and almost definitely not through executive order. The Citizenship Clause is part of the U.S. Constitution, the nation's founding document. Generally, legal scholars strongly suggest that neither executive action nor legislation should be able to supersede the Constitution's guarantee of birthright citizenship for those born on U.S. soil. However, because the legal precedent set by Wong Kim Ark well over a century ago is so fundamental to how birthright citizenship relates to the children of immigrants, a court battle erupting from Trump's executive order could, in the most extreme scenario, jeopardize the U.S.'s understanding of birthright citizenship as we know it. In fact, forcing the Supreme Court to reinterpret the 14th Amendment is probably part of the long game that the Trump administration is playing with its executive order. Yet, even with the White House rearing for a fight, a complete overhaul of case law around birthright citizenship remains improbable. The other way to override an existing part of the Constitution would be to ratify another amendment, which would require a level of political support that is unlikely for such a fringe right-wing issue. So how else could Trump administration police birthright citizenship? Even if the administration is unable to completely undo birthright citizenship for the children of certain immigrants, officials have reportedly been exploring other ways to tackle that topic. For instance, they could try to restrict short-term visas for pregnant travelers, so those traveling couldn't give birth in the U.S. Okay, so yeah, there's this attack against people, and now Trump, I mean, you know, what gives him the right to fucking make that, you know, to pull that fucking executive order to stop children being born to be natural citizens of the United States, okay? When was that ever a problem in this country? I really would like MAGA to convince me that birthright citizenship has been a bane of this country's existence. Tell me, please, try and convince me that there was something wrong with that from the get-go. This country for 250 years has been living under that fucking doctrine, okay? And no one's ever made any complaint about that. Certainly not as big a complaint as the price of eggs. Okay, certainly not as big a fucking issue as Trump made about, oh, they're eating your cats and dogs. Now, all of a sudden, we're all against people being naturalized citizens through birth. Okay? This party does nothing but look for problems or try to create them if they can't find them. That's all they're about. The real problems, on the other hand, are pushed way, way off the fucking stove. Fuck the back burner. It's on the floor. Okay? They don't want to talk anything about that. Why? Because they got no solutions for these problems. They have nothing. Higher wages? Oh, we ain't going to do that. Can't do it. Lower prices of groceries? Oh, well, I don't think we can do that. No, can't do it. How about helping to fix the environment? No, there's no problem with the environment. Global warming's a hoax. They ain't gonna do that. What about healthcare? There's a lot of people that, no, don't even bring that up. That's nothing we can do about that. That's in the hands of the corporations. That's what you get from MAGA. All the issues that people have a common gripe about across party lines, that's the stuff they ain't gonna fix. Okay? That's the stuff they're not going to work on. At least Joe Biden tried to work on those things in the 4 years that he had. Okay? Against the will of the MAGA-controlled Congress, he had an uphill battle to even get what little he got done accomplished. Okay? But he still had to fight MAGA. And they were against him on those same issues that I just said. Okay? They don't want to do anything about any of that stuff. And they certainly didn't want a Democrat fixing it. you know, because that would make them look bad. God forbid if Joe Biden did something about the price of food, you know, or lowered it, okay? But the people in this country don't realize how much more expensive it was in other nations for food and stuff like that. We were suffering the least out of all the countries that were dealing with inflation around the world, and not just the United States. Every country was dealing with it. But we had the right president who kept the inflation to a minimum, okay? Yeah, the prices were high. You know, I didn't like them where they were either. But when you listen to the news reports about what England was paying and what Germany was paying and what China was dealing with, okay, hey, we were sitting pretty good. We were sitting pretty good, okay? But no, it wasn't good enough. You know, MAGA, they want free food, they want free everything, okay? That's what they're looking for. They don't want to pay a dime for a damn thing, okay? They don't want to pay anything. They're a bunch of cheapskates, okay? In their minds, if they got to pay 2 pennies for a fucking egg, that's too much. They just want everything given to them because they're the welfare queens, okay? That's what MAGA is. They're the welfare queens. Everything to them, they feel it's owed them. They're a bunch of Karens, these people. They're entitled to everything, okay? Jesus Christ. I never heard a bunch of whiners in my life than these folks here. You know, they complain about everything. They want life handed to them. They don't want to pick themselves up by their bootstraps and try to work. No. They want everything handed to them on a silver platter. Christ. And whenever Democrats ask them to try to help out, you know, on the other side, nope. They won't give you anything, even on a trash can lid. They won't even do it. But no, it's always got to flow in their direction. The gifts, they have to keep flowing to MAGA. At the same time, MAGA doesn't want to give to anybody else, okay? They just take and take and take like a goddamn Pac-Man in a fucking game, okay? That's all they're good for. You know, and Trump promised them, you know, as much if he became president. And, of course, he pulled the rug out from under them. And he's not going to give them a goddamn thing. So, in the end, it's really about what Trump wants to do. Well, it doesn't matter what MAGA wants, okay? They've already been, the door's been slammed in their face. They're not getting shit, okay? Trump's in this now for himself. And that means, you know, hey, some of you MAGA people out there, you know, your citizenship is now in question, okay? You know, some of you Americans out there, you Democrats and Republicans, you know, hey, your citizenship is going to be put under a big spotlight now. We're going to have to re-debate that all over again. Something that was already stenciled into Constitution, okay, and that we've been living by for, you know, over 2 centuries. Now we're going to go back into the books and start debating all these fucking things all over again, okay? Because, like I said, that, you know, MAGA is all about tearing the country apart. That's what it is. They don't like America. They never did. They hated this country. Why? Because they don't get enough free stuff. That's the problem with MAGA. They don't get a goddamn thing for free. And they think that that's not fair. That, well, we're Americans, we should get nothing. We don't have to pay for anything. That's what they want. Free cars, free clothes, free food, free everything. They don't want to pay for a fucking thing. Okay? It doesn't matter about the fucking, you know, how cheap, you know, Democrats try to make food costs or how cheap we can bring down the gas. No, they don't want to have to pay for anything. That's what they want. All right? And they don't want to pay taxes either. They don't want to contribute to the economy. It's every man for himself as far as they're concerned. You know, America shouldn't even be a community. It's just a bunch of people living on land as far as they're concerned, and it shouldn't have a government. That's MAGA. They want just an anarchy ruling the country. You know, that's what they're after. Because you break down everything that they stand for, which I don't even know if you could call them issues to stand for, but this is what they stand for. You look at them and everything that they attack in this country, and if you list all those things, what you read in that list is the degradation of the United States. They don't want anything to do with it anymore. Okay? And that means they don't want anybody else to have anything to do with it anymore, okay? Doesn't matter if the Democrats are happy with the system. No. We're taking it away from you. We don't want it. If we don't want it, nobody can have it. Okay? That's the attitude of MAGA. Okay? So if America doesn't, if they don't like America, then nobody should like America. Nobody should have the government. Well, geez, whatever happened to, live and let live? Jesus. If you're not happy, fine. Go live somewhere else. Go pick another fucking country or some desert island where you can live like that. You want to live like a hermit? Fine. But you ain't got any right to tell the rest of America how they ought to live. You want to tell people they can't be American citizens anymore? You're going to have to do a whole lot of fighting to get that. You're going to have to. And I don't understand why anybody would ever think that was such an issue that needed to be addressed and changed in this country. How does that help this country by getting rid of birthright citizenship? How does that help America? Really, it doesn't. It doesn't help America. It's like they said, it would create another underclass in America, people that can be exploited. It's like, well, we don't have enough people to be prejudiced against, so let's create a new underclass in this country. Let's have people who are not citizens of America. Well, wouldn't you call those illegal immigrants? And what would you do with them? Export them out of the country just like all the other people you want to get rid of? I mean, that's all these people are about, is getting rid of people out of this country. They're not about bringing people into America and unifying. No. That's not what they want. They want America to be all white people, okay, wealthy people, which means a lot of MAGA is going to have to go bye-bye because you're not wealthy, a lot of you. That's what they want. They want this country to be a land of all wealthy millionaires. No government, just corporations controlling the land. All right? So that's what they want. That's the end result here of what everything that Project 2025 is trying to create here. That's the goal. That is the ultimate goal here, is to get rid of government, period, okay, and just hand the country over to the oligarchs, as Bernie Sanders labels them. Hand it all to the oligarchs. They will oversee the country. They will dictate, how things go. They will write the laws. They will do the justice. They will do everything, okay, which is nothing. Because, hey, look, the things that they do control, the things that they do give out, like healthcare and stuff like that, they ain't done a very stellar job with that. So you can imagine what that's going to do to this country here. You think you got homeless people now. You think you got poor people now. You ain't seen nothing yet, okay? We're already at the verge of seeing 80 to 90% of this country become all homeless people if the Republicans get enough of their way, okay? That's where we're going to be sitting. You're going to have, apartments all emptied. Nobody would be able to afford them. And ain't enough rich people to occupy them. So what's going to happen? You're going to have to tear down buildings all over the place because people want the land. All right? Homes? Christ. It's going to be haunted houses because they're all going to be empty. Because no one's going to be able to afford a home. So all that land, they'll just tear down all the houses. You see where I'm getting at? At the end of the day, it's all going to look like the way it used to look during the feudal times, where you had the castles up on the hill and the paupers living in their shacks on the bottom in whatever way they made them. Okay? Never the two worlds should meet. That's the way they want it. That's the way the oligarchs want this. Okay? That's the America they want. Like I had mentioned in a previous video here about how when we came to this land here and tried to start a government, originally the people that were already here, before the government was formed, was already living in that fashion, where the people of status had lordship over everybody else, and everybody was living like pigs, practically. That was already happening before we started our government. So that goes to tell you the attitude about wanting to live that way again is still even in our society today, even though people don't really understand what that would mean. They still want it. They still want control over the country. It's a very corrupt, very sickening way of thinking about, you know, what you would like to see to become, to, you know, to control the whole country, you know, through money and stuff like that, okay? And it's just, you know, you know, if you pay closer attention to the news, to the politics, to stuff that's going on, okay? And if you can see Donald Trump for what he is, you can already see that we are very, very close to the precipice of, you know, our nation simply descending into back into those feudal times again, okay? We're really going to end up that way. And you can't just go on believing that it will never happen. The United States won't go that far. No, it's gone too far already. You know, back in the 1940s, if anyone was to tell people back then what America would be like today, they wouldn't have believed it. They say, oh, our government would never do that to its people. Okay? They would never let the corporations get that out of control. That's what you would have been told back then, because people had a higher expectation of this country. But now, if you're still thinking like that, you ain't been paying attention. Those days are gone. Those days are long, long gone, okay? Anything's possible now. What they said in that article there about, oh, it's going to be too difficult, they'll never be able to do anything with the birthright citizenship. Bullshit, they won't, okay? You saw how determined they were to ban abortion. Nobody thought that that was ever going to happen in this country. Here we are, okay? So don't tell me that Trump isn't going to be able to accomplish that if he wants to accomplish it. Believe me, he will get it done somehow if they got enough fire lit under his ass to get him to do it. He will do it. I don't care if it's illegal how he does it or whatnot, but he's going to try it. You watch and see. It's a sad truth to tell, but people, you need to stop disbelieving that things are impossible now. We're living in the age of possibility. Even bad possibilities are more prone now than they ever been before in our history, okay? We are capable of doing great deals of fucking change and damage to this country now. So don't ever say never. It's never, you know, it's never going to happen. Take the word never out of your vocabulary. It's going to happen, okay? I can almost guarantee he'll try, and he might succeed, but he'll keep trying. And even if he doesn't do it, the next Republican asshole that gets in there, they'll try it for it again. You mark my fucking words. That's what's going to happen. So anyway, that's it for today. So I hope everybody has a great rest of the week. So subscribe, comment, and share, and keep your ears open for health-related issues. And you know, I hope everybody stays strong, stays warm. You know, has plenty of luck to get through what's going on out there in California, the wildfires and stuff. But be aware of things, as you know, nothing's impossible now. I mean, I'm not talking about, you know, good stuff. I'm talking about whatever bad things are being said about what's going to happen. You better believe it, okay? You better believe it, because we've seen some pretty incredible first-time events happen here in the last 10 years in this country that people never would have thought would have happened, okay? Things are going to happen. So, all right, everybody, I'll talk to you later, so take care.